Welcome to the Berman Golf Podcast, where we're helping golfers over the age of 60 increase distance off the tee so that they can hit shorter irons into the green. Yeah, baby. You can visit us at bermangolf.com for more information and get ready. This is going to be a fun one. And we're back at the Long Balls Golf Podcast. Dr. Jake Berman, your host and creator of the Berman Method of Golf Performance, where we focus on helping aging golfers hit the ball farther off the tee, shoot more consistently, and play more frequently. Today, what I want to talk about is a little recap from the U.S. Open last week. I think this is coming out a week after that tournament just happened. And the specific thing that I wanted to talk about from the tournament was how often we heard the commentators talk about the mental changes that Rickie Fowler has been making over the past year, because Rickie Fowler has been on a drought. It's been 4 years since he's won, and he had a 3-day lead going into Sunday. And he also set the record for US Open for the most amount of birdies. What was it, 21 or 22? Or I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but set the record for the most amount of birdies in a US Open ever. It's too bad he had that many bogeys on Sunday, because that's really what threw a loop into the equation. But anyways, the commentators said it over and over again, specifically on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not so much Sunday because he kind of fell off the cliff, about how much the mental change has positively impacted his golf game. And I thought that this was a perfect opportunity to tie this into my demographic, my listeners, my people who are specifically aging golfers, normally over the age of 60, where they've historically lost some significant amount of distance over the past year or two or three, or they just never have been able to hit it far to begin with because they picked up golf late in life, or their ball striking is going to crap. They can't get consistent contact on the golf ball. They can't compress it. They're thinning it. They're topping it. They're chunking it. They're doing anything but consistently striking the ball. And the last thing is their bodies just aren't allowing them to play a full round or play 2 rounds back to back, or even go on a golf trip with the guys because of aches and pains. And a lot of these golfers attribute it to a mental component. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring this back full circle to the first couple of episodes of this podcast, where we were talking about the pillars of your golf game. There's 4 pillars of your golf game. We want to equate these 4 pillars as tires on a race car, just for an analogy purposes. It makes it much more digestible to think of these 4 pillars as tires on a race car. If you want optimal performance out of the race car, all 4 tires should have equal and optimal air pressure in the tires to get the best performance out of the race car. That makes sense. If 3 of the tires are optimal with air pressure, but the 4th tire is low, the race car is not going to have top performance. Everybody can envision that happening. The same thing is true with your golf game. There's 4 pillars that contribute to a really good golf game. And another thing that the commentators were talking about multiple times over the weekend watching the US Open is the physical component. How pretty much every golfer playing on Sunday has the exact same physical component. I mean, they're all crushing the ball off the tee. They're all within 20 to 30 yards of each other off the tee, bombing it, just absolutely bombing it. So physically, they're all pretty much the same. Mentally is where the differences were made. It's the toughest 6 inches of golf that there is, and that's the 6 inches between your ears. That's where the mental component of it comes into. And then the other 2 pillars are the strategic pillar where it's like, okay, there's a bunker to the left, so I'm going to aim to the right. Or there's this massive, massive hazard to the right. Let's take that out of the equation. We'll aim left. So it's just using course management. That's the strategic component. And then there's the technical component. The technical component can vary slightly, but it's essentially your swing plane, your swing coach, your grip. How do you move the club backwards? How do you initiate it coming downwards? That's the technical component of it. So to come back full circle to my demographic and why I thought that watching the US Open was so relevant to my demographic is they talked so much about the changes that Rickie Fowler made over the past year that has completely transformed him from being in a slump to actually competing again. And the majority of it was because of the mental changes that he had been making with his coach. A lot of the golfers that I work with think that their limiting factor is the mental component, meaning that I'm really struggling with trying to figure this thing out. I'm trying to get through the ball. I'm topping it. I'm opening my stance up because I keep slicing it or hooking it. Whatever it is, you've got this mental block that because the result, the golf ball flight, the golf ball where it's landing, because of the result of that, you're making these other mental changes to try to correct it. And 9 times out of 10, heck, I'd even say 99% of the time, the physical component, the physical pillar, is the one that's overlooked. It's the one where you're not even thinking about it. Like, I am exercising, I am working out, I am doing these golf exercises, so I don't need to focus more attention on that. Or even worse, you're not doing these golf exercises. You're not going to the gym and really working on mobility drills and stability drills. You're just going to the driving range and banging balls, sweating bullets, getting even more frustrated on the range. The reason why this is so important is because if we go back to the analogy of the race car, for optimal performance of the race car, you want equal and optimal air pressure in all 4 tires. Chances are your mental tire, your mental pillar, the tire that's responsible for your mental capacity, it's probably pretty close to optimal. Chances are it's probably pretty good. Your technical tire, chances are it's not horrible. It's probably not optimal because none of us are really optimal because we're not on TV, right? But if we look at ourselves in comparison to amateur golfers across the country and even the world, it's probably not horrible. There's not a whole lot of people that I work with where I'm like, oh my gosh, that is a horrendous swing. Absolutely horrendous. You shouldn't work with me at all because you'd be wasting your money. You should go work with a coach first so you can work on your technical ability to swing the club. There's not a whole lot of that I see. So if your mental tire is doing pretty good and your technical tire is doing pretty good, the next tire is your strategic tire or your course management. There's not a whole lot of people that I work with who are quote unquote dumb, meaning that if you hit the ball 200 yards off the tee, if you carry the ball 200 yards off the tee and there's a bunker 200 yards out right in the middle of the fairway, there's not a lot of people that I work with that say, you know what, I'm going to try to hit it over that. Especially if you're in a tournament or if you're trying to score well, you're going to say, why don't we lay up? Why don't we just hit a wood or a long iron off the tee? Let's do course management here. So chances are that tire is also pretty good. You're pretty good at trying to work your way around the course. The 4th tire, the physical tire, this is the one that is by far and most commonly flat. Like not even a little bit of air pressure in there. It is just flat. Where it's like, what the hell, man? you are running around on a flat tire. And a lot of you listening to this are going, no, that's not me. I'm physically capable. I'm good. No, you're not. And the reason why I can say you're not is because 100% of the people that I've worked with since starting this Berman method of golf performance have not been. And I've worked with scratch golfers. I've worked with 40 plus handicappers. None of them have been optimal in the physical component. None of them. The fact that you think that you are is part of your mental problem, part of your mental block. You're focusing on the wrong thing. We've really got to focus on the physical component of it because we are not 30 years old and on TV on Sunday. That's where I'm coming with all of this is it's so easy to be sitting there on the couch listening to the commentators talk about the mental capacity and how this mental change has led to him leading the tour and setting this record, talking about Rickie Fowler setting the most birdies in U.S. Open history, and then trying to say, well, man, if I could just work on my mental, if I could go work with Butch Harmon and maybe I could get that good. No, because that's not the lowest hanging fruit for you. You're 70 years old. You practice maybe twice a week, and you play maybe twice a week. You're not 30 years old and practice 50 hours a week and play 4 times a week. You're not that person. So the fact that you even try to consider that their problem could be your same problem, it's just asinine. It's just completely bonkers. So if you really, really, really want to make a significant positive change in your golf game, you've got to focus on the physical component. Out of everybody that I've worked with over the years, the lowest hanging fruit by far has always been the physical component of it. Every single time, 100% of the time. So why don't you focus a little bit more on it? Why haven't you taken the T-Shot Transformation Program yet? It's that 6-module online program that I created. I spent a lot of time developing this thing because it's the basic fundamentals that I do with my in-person one-on-one program. It's the outline. It's the basic fundamentals that you can do inside your own home without ever sweating, without ever even picking up a golf club and trying to hit a golf ball. It's 6 modules sent directly to your email. Super simple. Why haven't you done it yet? Or if you have done it, when's the last time you did one of the modules? Did you just go through it one time and say, okay, I did it? Or are you doing it consistently? I say in the last modules, I say, now if you want to do this the right way, you need to pick one module and do it every single week. From here on out, forever. Just keep doing it. If you want to keep getting better, you got to keep doing it. You can't just go through it once and say that you've done it and then you're done. It's not the way golf works. It's not the way the body works. So my take-home message for you this episode is short and sweet. Work on the physical component. If you're working on it right now, work on it harder. If you're working on it harder now, work on it smarter. Do something different. Increase the intensity of what you're doing if you're doing the right thing. If you're not doing the right thing and you're working really hard and really intensely on it, you got to change it. You want to work smarter, not harder, but then there comes a point to where you are working smarter and you do need to work harder. That's where I come in. Let me help you get there. We're still batting 100% with every single person that I've worked with who's gone through a one-on-one program with me. So why not you? Take-home message. Go to bermangolf.com. Check out the products there. We've got a lot of new things going on, a lot of new videos, and a lot of new things going on over there. So check it out. Get some more information. Go to the YouTube page, Berman Golf on YouTube. Man, we've got a ton of good videos coming out on there. Do something different. Don't become a statistic. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean that you can't gain more distance off the tee. Doesn't mean that you can't strike the ball more purely and start getting better ball flight. Doesn't mean that you can't go on the golf trip with the guys anymore. Let's avoid the definition of insanity. Let's do something different. Love it. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast. Make sure you share this with one of your buddies that you're tired of hearing bitching about his aches and pains or how he's losing distance. Help him out. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Take the T-Shot transformation. If you've already taken it, do another module. Every single week, you should be doing one of the modules. Let's get better, baby. Come on now. Thank you very much for tuning in this week. For more information, please go to bermangolf.com. That's B as in boy, ERMAN, bermangolf.com, and check out a ton of stuff that we have there. Or even better, go to our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We're even on TikTok. Check us out everywhere. We've got tons of content going out every week. And please give us a thumbs up. Comment on the videos. Let me know what your questions are. Try to shoot holes in this. I'll do whatever I can to help you out the best that I can. Thank you, guys.